What's going on, people? I'm here. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it is the 5th. Cheers, people. Thank you for your comments. I'm going to actually look at some of them in a minute. Ain't nobody stopping me doing anything. I'm doing what I want to, okay? You folks, I get frustrated with people. You know, we live in the mind, you know. Everybody thinks what they see is what's real, like me. That's why I say, always qualify what I'm saying. This is my experience. This is what I am experiencing. This is my perspective. I can't speak for other people, even though I know what I say resonates with other people, which is nice. I'll start off by just sharing. It's a beautiful part of the year. And so, yeah, I spent much of the day outside yesterday. Besides that, I practiced bass. Not really practice, I played. I played stuff that I like rather than, my blister from the gig finally is gone. So I'm working on. I want to keep my fingers together. You know, I'd like to play some more this year. But what I was playing was stuff that I love. You know, House of Love, Catherine Wheel. I really enjoy those songs, and let me just write quick. What did I play? Among other things, if you see this Myber Tube, I think that's the guy's name that sent this to me. Autographed by the band. Shine On, among other songs. This is the song that I played. Actually played along with, watching videos. I have a USBs collections of video, and I have a House of Love folder. So I was watching video and playing along with them, and really remarking at how deceptively cool their songs are. They're simple, but it'll be one little thing, one little change, and it's like, that's brilliant. And then another song, Crush Me. I was amazed at how simple it sounds, but the bass line was rather complex. I had to stop and listen to it a few times, rather than a lot of times I can just jump in and just go because I know if I know things well. But that one's like, ooh, listen to that bass. Also played along with some Catherine Wheel. And I didn't play along with this, but I just felt like playing this, sitting out in the front yard, music emanating out of my front door. Julian Cope, Interpreter. Like Edward Caspell, Julian Cope is someone who I find fascinating and brilliant because he has a lot of content, not content, actually that's another discussion that's online that I picked up on. But he writes a lot of music and it's good. And there's a lot of variety. And he's a interesting, smart man. He's someone I wouldn't mind having a conversation with. To get to some of the newer stuff that's gotten to me, the last public eyesore bunch that I got, finally got around to listening to this. Pet the Tiger. This is really good, people. Pet the Tiger, Hail the Traveler. It's 3 different groups of instrument makers, recordings. Brian Day, who runs the label, who I have a recording, 2 records out with. Yeah. He's on here besides, this being his label. This is really cool and kind of magical because the instruments are built by the musician. So you have to wonder, what am I listening to? Some things sound a little bit like gamelan. Other things sound like like bells and other things. I don't know what they sound like. And then they start singing on a couple of songs, and it's cool because it's like the last thing I would expect to hear is some singing in this music. Pet the Tiger, Hail the Traveler. This is really good, Brian. If you see this, he probably doesn't because he's so busy, constantly traveling the world. And I think about that, I could be doing that, I could do that. I really don't want to. I don't. I finally got to the other cassettes that he sent me, and I listened to them the easy way online. This is Ricardo Arias and Violeta Garcia. Anagazas Estratagamas Jagaretas y Tretas. I don't know what language that is. This is duets, cello, and bass balloon kit. That's what I thought before I even looked at it when I was listening. Brian Day, who runs the label, studied with Pauline Oliveros. Are you familiar with Pauline Oliveros? Rest in peace. She had a whole tract or a whole theory that she wrote and taught about regarding deep listening. This is deep listening material, okay? It's the sort of thing that, you know, if you're going to get anything out of it, you need to go into it and let go of your expectations and see what happens. Along those lines, this other cassette that he sent me, this is real good. It's real quiet. Well, the part that I heard, I haven't heard at all. KBD3. That's the people. Michael Kimade, Gabriel Beam, and Ryan Dom. And there they are. That's nice, Brian. If you see this, I like this, how I don't buy cassettes, but a lot of cassettes, when you open them, I shouldn't say that a lot, but I've seen a lot of cassettes where you just open it up and there's nothing, it's just white. So this is cool. I think it, you know, adds value to the release. This was lovely. And again, I listened to this online. I didn't play the cassette. Really quiet. Slowly moving. I'm sure it erupts into something greater. My first impressions are very, 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 very positive. And that's the sort of thing that I would want to encourage people to explore. To move outside the bounds of what you're used to. I do. I listen outside of my comfort zone. I listen to everything. You know, I'm aware of what Pokey Lafarge sounds like, Doja the Cat, and all this mess, you know, and Candy, new heavy metal person. And then when it comes to hip hop and soul music, I'm up. It ain't what I'm into. It's not what I'm, you know, I'm an explorer. Had a nice visit yesterday. 2 visits, actually. Jim Fields, who's working on a documentary about Nebraska music, stopped by in the morning. We had a lovely visit. And yes, Jim, I know you'll see this. Isn't it a shame that so many of the musicians that you have interviewed across the state are Trump supporters? It's a shame, but it goes with the territory. I'm in a red state. A lot of old racists. They say it's about the economy. That's a lie. It's racism. I'm on the receiving end. That's why I know. I shared with Jim that I've played with a lot of these musicians that you've interviewed. I've been behind enemy lines. I have assimilated so well mainstream culture, which is white culture. When I was growing up, I was born in 55. It's happened many times when I was especially going to the private prep school with all these white rich kids. where I would be hanging out and we'd be having a conversation and somebody would all of a sudden pop up and say something nigger something, just talking about, just talking like regular, like as though there aren't any black people around. And then they'll notice, oh, I didn't really, well, you're different. You don't even, which is not a compliment. It's an insult. But you don't seem like them others. That's fucked up. That's why I have this anger about politics and about what's going on with why we're still facing Donald Trump trying to get back in office and all the madness in the media. I'll trip on that right quick, show a couple more records, and I'll just finish up. It does irk me because I am aware, and I know this is factual, that stuff is conglomerated. The music industry, what's left of it, the labels, the big labels have all been bought by a couple of big ones, Sony Music Group, BMG. The same is true of mainstream communication. It's all corporate owned. iHeartRadio is one that I know of, but the people who own the news outlets and the radio and television, it's a small group of hydra-headed monsters, and they control the narrative. And I hate that I see that because it benefits their corporate bottom line to support Donald Trump in spite of the truth that irks me. And I see it in the news. I'm just going to keep going here. I might get back to music. Thank you for accepting me. But we had the trial. Things aren't over yet, but already, it's like the mainstream media would like people to forget. And now the big focus is on Hunter Biden. He's not even a politician. I don't care about Hunter Biden. Why do I have to hear about him? He's not even running for office. This is petty, petty, petty. And immature and wrong. It's wrong. That shit pisses me off. And it's the world that we live in. And it does affect my life directly. It does. So after the visit with Jim, that was brought up because of talking with Jim and him being disappointed that so many of the musicians that he spoke to are redneck racist Trumpers. But then after that, we did some more yard work. Well, actually, I did yard work before and after my visit with Hank Red. That was a short visit. He's having trouble with his computer. I'm not really having trouble, it's what it goes with being an older person, not acclimated to computers and not using them often. And so he'll forget and say, how do you get that going? How you turn that on? I really like him, though. He's about to turn 80 years old, though. Bless him. What a cool guy. So another record sitting out here that I was showing, and I haven't played. I'm going to play it. I haven't played it in a while. A single from my post-punk days. I was buying a lot of singles in the early 80s. Firmament and the Elements, the Festival of Frothy Mugament. I remember when I bought this. I bought it because I liked the cover, and it was also on the Armageddon label, which Robin Hitchcock and the Soft Boys were on. And I'm perplexed. I lost my Soft Boys, their first single. I had it when I moved here, and it's just, I can't find it. Bruce Woolley and the Camera Club is what's behind this. And it's just a funny little song. It's like a novelty in a way. The guy doesn't sing. He talks about this festival, whatever that means. I have never looked it up what this means. Frothy Mugament. But I love it. It's very cool. Fun. I don't have any other records down here. Oh, yes, I do. Why do I? I'll do that, and then yes, I do. Another record that I got that I played after getting back from Hank's, after sitting outside again for a while, and I really appreciate living next to my cousin Ray. We're very different, but we're family, we're blood, and that just feels good to have him close. You know, we'll just sit out in our yards and chit chat a little bit. We talked a bit about global warming. Ray is an example of what I consider fairly typical people who don't inform themselves of anything. And I'm trying to tell them, listen, global warming is science, man. This is not somebody talking on TV. It'd be nice if you'd invest some of this stuff instead of, you know, coming back at me like, oh, well, Ray, do you know? Have you actually even looked into climate change? No, baby, don't come at me like that, because I'm like this with everybody. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying know what the fuck you're talking about. If it's just your opinion, I can accept that, but say that. But don't talk to me, say shit like you're speaking facts when you don't even fucking know. So this got played almost all the way through. I love these graphics. This came out in 1994. It still sounds modern. Future Sound of Love of London, Lifeforms. I love these graphics. Love this. And I love, I watched, I forget the documentary, but it was about electronic music, and they had a short bit on there with the guys from Future Sound of London. And they said, which it fits, that's why this stuff is so cool. They're not musicians at all. They don't know a thing about music. They're collage artists. That's what the guy said. We're collage artists, and we use audio. And that's why this music is so unique. It's like, that's why I really like this stuff. I love that cover. I wish that their videos were uploaded online in HD, because they have videos with these graphics, but there's not good resolution videos uploaded. That was something else that came up while talking with Jim Fields while he's working on his film. I didn't realize that you could use software to take old grainy footage, video, and you can use AI, basically knows the algorithms to fill in and upgrade. I'd love to see them do that with the Future Sound of London videos. Really cool. Yeah, I enjoy, for the most part, making these videos. It's like spending time, even though for some people it would feel like it's one way. I know that there's people on the receiving end, and so this is good. So thank you, folks, for your response. Yeah, people don't have to watch. I'm not letting anyone stop me from doing what I want to do. It is my channel. Yes, and yes, Trump needs a psychiatric evaluation. Here's the deal, folks. See, this is why the hypocrisy of right-wing racists bothers me. Is they're so two-faced. It's like Trump is a liar, and he's constantly. And I see, if the media wasn't so concerned about getting their paychecks, people would call him out on it to his face. Like the recent thing where, the whole thing about lock her up. And then he says, I didn't say that. Well, show him the motherfucking clip. Show it to his face. Here you are. Now what do you say, bitch? Why do people want him? Because of money? Horrible. Someone commenting on an older video about Carter Tootie. Yes, I love him. And it wasn't that long ago that I had an interaction with Cozy Fanny Tootie. She had posted a picture of herself and me when I met them years ago on her on her website. I loved it. And someone says, Bluger, who is a regular, your opinion, and you're right to say it. It's just my opinion. He said it makes complete sense to me. Unlike these greedy, stupid politicians and their followers. That's what it is greed. Thank you for your support. Good Ghost and Bell. Yes. Thank you. Yes, China lands on dark side of the moon, taking soil and possible water samples. Interesting. They say this is good for space research. Well, we'll see about that. Speaking of that, one of the things that happened while Trump was president was that he started the Space Force. So not the space program, but it was announced. Have we heard anything about it since then? That's taxpayer money. What did you start the space program for? What are they doing? What is the money being spent on? That's what irks me about black projects with the military. All these millions and billions and trillions of dollars over the years spent, and no trace of where it went, and no sign of it from our end of what's been done with it. It appears to me on the surface that all this goes behind the scenes for a cabal of people who are in positions of advantage, and so they take advantage. Thank you, folks, for your support here. Thank you for the love. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening. Henry Lindstrom wrote a little bit about visiting America, and interesting indeed. Indeed, yeah. So, I'm done for now. It's already 20 minutes. See, that time goes quick. Today, what is the plan? Today, the plan is no plan except it's beautiful. And before the ungodly heat of summer hits, because it's just the facts of the more extreme weather patterns now, which are now the new normal. I'm going to get outside and sit outside and walk and stuff while I can before it's too hot. And right now, it's just a gorgeous morning. Just a gorgeous morning. Stay in touch, people. Let me know how you're doing. Share your thoughts with me. Do it with love. And I need to get a new mouse. Okay.